What is up, my voluptuous men? Today, I'm explaining the look, or the stare, the fluoride stare. And this isn't coming out of nowhere, by the way. This comes from a person who has it, and them telling me exactly what their situation is. And this isn't to shame people who have it. It's literally something you can't help. You're just born with it. You're just born with the way your mind works. You can't help it. So if you don't have the stare, if you don't have the fluoride condition, then hey, you're very, very lucky, and be very, very humble. Anyway, what is the stare? Now, the stare is what I call that look when there's not really any thought behind the eyes of the people who are using them. Maybe you've noticed it when people are taking pictures, and this is especially when it shows through. There's not really any human connection going on, so the person looking at the camera kind of just looks aloof, and their eyes aren't exactly even in their sockets, and maybe one's kind of looking off somewhere else, and they're not really entirely connected to what's happening, because you're not talking to a person, and this kind of ties into what the stare is. Now, in my experience, speaking to someone who has this condition, to put a name to it, it's called aphantasia. So I met someone who had aphantasia to the most extreme degree. Like, they could not picture anything in their head, and they couldn't say words inside their head. So they couldn't speak to themselves inside their head. Even if they were to voice, even if they were to make the sound, like do the tongue motions to make the words without speaking, they couldn't hear the words in their head. And so naturally, this person struggled with really abstract concepts and even things that are kind of concrete, such as reading, or math. So this person says they are not a math person at all. They hate math. And when they read the words on a page, they don't hear the words in their head. They just kind of see the word, but it doesn't really register as anything in their head. And the way that they're even literate is not necessarily from understanding the individual words and processing them, but it is understanding the flow of a story that the words convey. So if it's something that doesn't really carry a story, it's impossible to remember. So say they read five sentence paragraph on something simple, but it was really boring. They wouldn't be able to remember anything they just read. They might be able to recall, the flow of the words, but not, the flow of meaning, but not necessarily what it kind of meant. And so when people like this aren't speaking, when they're not doing any sort of work, they are not thinking. There's no thought. And my hypothesis was true, because this is something a lot of people have joked about this with me, that some people have the look and there's just nothing that goes on behind those eyes. And it's true. Some people have no thoughts, they have no imagery, they have no voice inside their head, and thus their lives are very simple. And so in my experience, the person I met who had aphantasia, they were actually really, really good at learning languages. And the reason for this is probably because once you learn a language, you kind of get caught up with the syntax, so to speak, of the words and the specific, letters, words, everything. But when you don't really have thoughts inside your head, things just kind of are the way they are, and the meanings convey themselves naturally. So it's very easy to attach a meaning to a word kind of in your head just through speech. I don't know. I'm sure you can kind of work that out in your head. But this person spoke 3 languages pretty damn fluently, and they weren't even a native English speaker, and you wouldn't really know that they weren't. And so this person, when I saw their face in a photo, multiple photos, man, there was nothing going on there, because there is literally no thought. There's no thought. There's no internal dialogue. Okay, I gotta look good for the picture. Ooh, I hope it turns out good. I want to look cool for the picture. Nothing. It's literally just, oh, take a picture. Okay, I'm supposed to smile. They don't even say that. They just go. It's so mind-blowing. And I spent a decent amount of time with this person, probably like a week, just trying to get them to think something. Like, I had to accept defeat at one point. It was just so interesting. It was really neat. But I literally could not make them think. I couldn't make them think. And so what does a person like that do when they're not doing anything and they're not thinking about anything? They kind of exist in a plane of just nothing. And so aphantasia, it appears that 1 to 4% of people in the entire world have this condition. So 1 to 4 people literally do not think. I know some. It doesn't even have to do anything with intelligence, which is really weird. It probably correlates in some way, maybe, but I know some pretty damn stupid people, myself included sometimes, and I have a very, very clear mental imagery, and I talk to myself all the damn time. I'm probably the least lonely man in the world because my best friend's in here, right? I'm my best friend. You know, I keep this place house kept, but yeah, I love my boys. But anyway, it's a weird world for those who have aphantasia, and so if you ever see someone who has the look, it's not a meme. And it probably wouldn't be awfully judgmental or incorrect to say that they might not have any thoughts behind their eyes, because in my experience, the person with aphantasia I met proved my hypothesis. Anyway, that's all for this one. I figured I'd share this wonderful news with you guys. Do you know anyone with aphantasia? Do you ever see people and they kind of just look out of touch? They're just like not 100% there. They're not very expressive. They're just kind of monotone. I'm monotone sometimes, all right, I admit. But sometimes people are just not there. They're not in this realm. They're just kind of breathing. Hey boys, I really hope you guys aren't just breathers. If you're on the internet, if you made it this far, odds are, according to the videos I do like this, the ones that are just like me rambling to a camera, literally 0% of people end up making it to this point. So I'm probably not going to do too many more of these, but I think they're fun to do just to give me something to spit out into the world and share something with someone who might like to learn. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up because I don't want to ramble too long and make the video too long. Rock, paper, scissors. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I got you with the rock. If I won, I'm freaking awesome, and you suck. If you won, I suck, and you're freaking awesome. Anyway, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.